Wow! It's 2 minutes to late night!
All right, what's up, Sonoran Hot Dogs? Drew is wearing a shirt from Pink's Hot Dogs.
Yeah.
And I just found out what kind of hot dog that is. And you know what? Sounds good. Or gross. I don't know. The mayo is throwing me off. I don't know if I'm going to like that mayo part.
Mayo on a hot dog? Gross. Mayo and 1,000 other things on a hot dog? Whips ass.
Cool. I
Yeah.
believe it. Welcome to 5 Minutes to Cast Night. Another commentary episode. This week, we're going to be talking about episode 2 or second pilot. We had to call it second pilot because there was going to be a second episode 2.
Yeah, much like how there's like 4 Spider-Man 6s.
Yeah, there's too many Spider-Man 2s. But yeah, you're here with just Drew and Jordan again because we were the only ones who wrote this episode.
Yeah. Once again, we are in the realm of Drew and Jordan living together, making stuff in peace and harmony, and losing our jobs, and just having late night freakouts, and just hoping for the best.
100%. Before we get started with this episode, did you listen to anything you liked this week?
Yes, I did. But I want you to go first because I have to remember what I listened to because I'm very hot.
I listened to I love Thin Lizzy. I listened to just but I had never listened to anything past the Black Rose before. Mm-hmm. Somebody on the internet sent us a thrash metal cover of Thunder and Lightning. Oh yeah, I listened to that whole album. It is just a thrash metal Thin Lizzy album itself. Like, the album itself is the most metal thing they've ever made. Phil's voice is so gravelly and angry the whole time. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a cool record. I'm glad that I got into it. I just assumed because of the weird cover that it wouldn't be. I assumed that it was a record they made after Phil had already died. Yeah. But I think that record whips ass. Also, you know what? I had a dream last night that Laura Stevenson became the new lead singer of Velotalk.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I thought it was really sick. I thought it was in my dreams, I was like, this is the coolest thing. The entire dream was just about that happening.
I just want to hear Kvelertak cover Baby Bones or like one of those really sad Laura Stevenson songs.
Yeah, but with a big ass fucking AC/DC riff.
Yeah,
and so cool.
And Laura with an owl on her head because she would dig that, I think.
She would do it. She would put any animal on her head.
Yeah. As long as the owl like died of natural causes, we didn't like kill it. Yeah. We being the costume designers that we're hired to do. Because let's be real, if you're dreaming, you gotta include us in the dream, you know?
I think I was just like, I worked craft services because they were on a big festival tour.
Yeah. I said no meatballs! Smack.
But no, I want to hear Laura Stevenson sing for Velotalk. Yeah, but the English translation of Velotalk, where it's just like, Odin made a brand new beer, and then he gave it to Velotalk. And we drank it, and it was sick. Like, that's every song they write is just about getting drunk with the gods and that it's cool. Yeah. Or that how being on the road can be tiresome.
Having gods is cool because, like, it sounds cool when you're like, I had a drink with the gods, instead of saying, like, I had a cup of wine with Christ.
With Jesus. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So it's way cooler if there's like a bunch because it's like you have a lot of friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What did you listen to?
I listened to ZZ Top. I really got into ZZ Top. We did a Rob, who shoots the show, and I shot a whole bunch of pedal demonstrations for Abominable Electronics. They're fucking awesome guitar pedals. Steve played guitar in these demos, and they're really fun and weird. Like, Rob and I really tried to make like them stand out from other guitar pedal demos, and Steve is the best because Steve Brodsky is so funny, and we just like love hanging out with him. So we were like coming up with jokes and doing weird things, and Steve is also, you know, just like the king of riffs. And we'd be like, hey, can you play this song? And he would do it. We did one where Steve plays. It was Pat, who owns Abominable, was like, this is a pedal that's supposed to sound like Jimi Hendrix. So we were like, okay, Steve, you play Jimi Hendrix, and then we want you to play the Super Mario theme song like it was Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Honestly, the true national anthem. So we did one where he plays like a ZZ Top inspired jam. And as I'm like doing this, I'm like, man, ZZ Top has great tone. I don't think I really know ZZ Top that well. And I just sort of went into their back catalog and listened to a lot of ZZ Top. And
it's
ZZ
great.
Top's fucking cool. The only thing that is kind of funny is they have this song that's like, give me all your lovin'. And they're like, give me all your lovin', all your hugs and kisses too. And I'm like, oh, ZZ Tops are just like a bunch of grandpas. Like, give me your hugs and kisses, Daphne. I need those.
Yeah, or, I mean, they might be just, like, really horny song, because they have that song called, like, Tush, and it's very it's clearly, like, it's just, these bearded guys just want to fuck in the butt. Like, that's what they want.
I like my cute grandpa theory, but, the Tush is like, look at that little Tush.
I know.
You know, when you see a baby and, like, it's really cute and you want to eat it and it's not, like, a murder thing. It's just so cute that you want to do that. Yeah.
I agree that that's the word, but we use that word because Grandpa said it, but I'm pretty sure our grandpa said that when they were fucking horny.
like a love letter from war, like, my dearest Bethany, I miss you and your tush.
Yeah, exactly. Just like...
when they invent the blowjob, I will return home.
Just about to die in the war, like, listen, do you have any regrets? I wish I could have just put it in somebody's tush. Okay. Drew and Jimmy.
I have a bit.
You were turning into a stewed tomato right now.
Jimmy, you're not gonna make it. What do you want me to tell your wife? Tell her I miss her, asshole. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
What is happening?
Bits.
Okay. This week, we're gonna do commentary for the second episode of 2 Minutes Late Night.
The second episode, which is called Second Pilot now, with John Baisley from Baroness, who is very, 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 very cool.
I forget how we got in touch with him initially. I think maybe Ben Wyman put me in touch with him.
Probably, yeah.
I think, or I don't remember. I remember talking it out and him being really excited to do the show.
Yeah, he is the most, like, happy, excited, just, like, a great person to be around, a great person to interview, and just an all-around interesting person.
But every time he looks me in the face, I pee.
Yeah.
I pee. He has a very intense gaze.
Yes.
And so when he's looking at me, I forget he's 100% the most nervous I've been to talk to any musician that we've had on the show. I'm always usually fine, but it's literally because he looks at me like he's already going to be disappointed with whatever I say.
Yeah, I think we should really kind of mention that I feel a lot of weird thoughts about this episode. I feel like we screwed the pooch. I don't think we did the best we could have done. And I know that the Purple Rain is amazing. I love every minute of that. It's a great cover. And they're just like, every musician in that is peak performance, and it's wonderful. But everything before that, I have not watched since like a week after we put it out. I am terrified to watch this. Absolutely terrified.
I know that we were trying a lot of different things on this episode, and I'm proud of us just wanting to do something different. I think we got really weird. I think we got a little... This is after we had put out a bunch of sketches, I think, too.
Yeah, so with the timeline of this is basically... So we shot the pilot in 2015, but it sat on a hard drive until June. We were like, fuck it, let's put it out. We're never going to sell it because we don't know what we're doing. It's better to just, like, make the world see our thing.
Everyone we knew who worked for the place that originally wanted to buy our pilot... like quit
or got fired
because that's the way that media companies work. It's just that they will just like toast an entire huge portion of your staff. So we just didn't know anybody. Yeah, I wasn't working there anymore. I didn't know anybody who was. Yeah, so we didn't really have a way back in. But so we put it out.
We put it out, and it obviously it worked well because you're here and you're listening to it. But you know, people really liked it, and we're like, oh shit, what do we do next? So we shot a couple of sketches because we weren't ready to tackle the full thing yet. So we kind of wanted to build the world of 2 Minutes to Late Night. So that's why we made a sketch called Open Up This Mic, where we did stand up in a mosh pit, and people really liked that. We did a sketch called Every Time I Lie, where we got Andy Williams from Every Time I Die to chokeslam people, and that was sort of getting in the sensibility of like, let's lean more on the scripted side than the randomness of shooting and just seeing what happens. Yeah. Oh, and Misfits Karaoke, yes, which was very much like, let's shoot it and see what happens.
Yeah. Since we didn't have any rules, like, I remember that was our approach for this one. I was like, we can play any song we want. Yeah. We can do whatever we want. What would we do? And we were like, let's try to make it more Conan-y. But I think the two mistakes of this episode that I remember, I remember feeling didn't work in this is that we tried to connect this episode with all of the sketches. Like, we filled it with a lot of lore. Yeah. When people might have just not seen all of the sketches. And I feel like this episode is very dependent on seeing everything else that we had made. Yeah. And I think that I don't think we screwed the pooch. I think we were trying to
What a gross saying. Ugh. I say that and I'm like, I wouldn't screw any pooch. I'd kiss a pooch.
Yeah. It literally said that's just another weird old saying. Like
back in the day when they fucked dogs.
Yeah. Man, that guy really had sex with a dog.
Yes, he paid for it.
But I think because of us misjudging how John was gonna be, because it was the press for Purple, their Purple record was out of control. It was all over, and we kind of went in going like, let's do an anti-interview. Yes. And I think that's the thing that I don't like or want to watch in this episode is I'm probably gonna just hold my. We thought it would be funny to like prod them about like Megadeth or whatever. But
we were mean.
I think it's. I don't think it's necessarily super mean, but you know, it's definitely it's my least favorite interview because I feel like I would have liked to just do it better. And this is one of those things that I learned to do better later, which is throw out
the script.
Yeah. Throw out the script, and I didn't do that in this one because I think when he opens up about being like, I like talking about gear, I should just talk to him about gear.
The second we were like, so you're probably tired of talking about gear, and he's like, I love talking about gear. I like felt every organ in my body just disappear into my shoes. Like, I just like turned into like Robin Williams in Flubber and just flopped away. It was the worst.
But it's one of those things where like we have to watch it. We're gonna start this, but I think it's one of those things where we were never gonna know not to do that unless we did it. It's one of those things where it's a funny idea to do like an interview about a bad interview. Yeah. But it's the execution. It's like you can't script the whole thing. That would be the only way that it's funny is if we scripted the entire thing. Yeah. Because otherwise the interview is just like, doesn't this question suck? And John going, yeah. Yeah. Or not really.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that, so basically, I don't know what exactly happened. I think, honestly, the truth was that, like, we were finding our comedic voice, and we really enjoyed writing together. And we'd write 10-page versions of sketches that were only going to be 2 minutes long, you know? Yeah. And so, 2 Minutes to Late Night. So, we did Open Up This Mic, which is, like, as radical as it can be in terms of like planning. We're just like, go out there, we'll see what happens, you know? And then we did the Every Time I Lie thing, which was mostly scripted, but also a little unscripted. I don't know.
The question and answer part was not scripted.
Right. An unwinnable question is a thing that we like to do because game shows are fun like that. Yeah. And then we did the Kyle Kinane sketch, and that sketch, if you haven't seen it, is like basically it was like our swan song for the show of like, if we don't get to make anything else, this is why we made a pilot. This is what we believe in. It's like a Gregory Peck inspired monologue.
It's also, I viewed it as, for me, when we were making it, I was like, this will be a sneaky way to put a pitch for the show.
Right. But if it didn't, I meant though, like if it didn't work, it was like, well, at least you knew what we were doing. But that was completely scripted. You know, it was a sketch. I mean, obviously there was improv, but it's not the same thing as an interview. It doesn't have like the free-formness of a talk show. So now we did all this writing and we're like, it's fun to write. Let's write more stuff. And then you have, this episode has, instead of a game show, it has 4 minutes of John Baisley watching a sketch comedy show. We basically should have just taken him to like the UCB theater and filmed him watching. You know, like there's no interaction other than him saying $500. But he's very funny in it because he's just super deadpan.
Yeah.
And he was cool with it. That's the thing, is he was really cool with everything. But yeah, so you know, it's one of those things where it's like that was kind of the experiment of like, how the fuck do we figure out what we want to do when what we want to do is everything.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's like we wanted to try to see how weird we could get with it. I think this episode was definitely, I think it was more of an experiment than the first one.
Absolutely.
And I think it's kind of a good thing. But yeah, a lot of the spontaneity and the chaos is just not there. Like, let's get into it. Let's watch it.
Yeah. So those of you at home who are ready to spaghetti, on the count of 3, start 2 minutes to late night, second pilot. 3, 2, 1.
I forgot that Steve. This is the first episode with the theme.
Yeah, Steve. They were so excited because we were still kind of under the impression that like we were making them do this show and they didn't want to do it, and they were really, really excited that they wrote us a theme song.
Yeah, well, Nick originally pitched it as like this riff was gonna be a riff for Warmones. It was gonna be something. It was gonna be some song on Warmones, but they Steve was like, "This is too silly and it sounds like the Muppets." And then I think they were like, Steve just eventually was like, "We think we have a song for the show." Like, Nick showed me this riff on a phone. And then when we went and saw them one time, they just surprised us with like, we're writing a show or themes. I think it's recorded. You can see the show where they first play the theme song.
Oh yeah.
In the middle of a set. It's one of Frank Wong's live taping of a Mutoid set, and they play it in there. And it's he's like, it's unfinished.
Yeah, I remember you were so excited. You called me and you're like, they wrote us a theme song. It sounds like Van Halen and the Muppets, and I was just like, this is exactly what we ever wanted.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah.
The first time. Oh right, so the camera bit.
And Max is on the toilet.
I love this bit.
It's a good bit. Yeah, they were excited.
The first time that
This is our second official episode.
this is the first time that Steve gets to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have the ashes of our grandparents here.
This grandparent bit is such a an episode. Like, this is 3 years into doing the show. We should have done this bit.
Yeah.
I remember we got in a fight about what to fill the urns with.
Yeah.
You were like, it's got to be Cheerios, and I was like, Nesquik, man.
Yeah, I was wrong. It shouldn't have been Cheerios, but you can't really tell that it's. There's Kevin, the sound guy. Damn, that was good.
Ricardo, check it out. Where's Danzig with the weather?
If you're just tuning in, we're here live in front of Glenn Danzig's house. A macabre ranch-style home, probably built in the late...
Jesus.
You okay, bud?
Oh.
Right.
This was when we thought we were gonna do the show live for the first time. Like we
have an audience, but
we have
we're
an audience.
not doing it live.
When I say live, like this still took 8 hours to shoot because we didn't know what we were doing yet. We thought that this was actually going to be done live. Like we were going to actually have
Sam on a screen.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why you cut back and forth. Originally, we always wanted to just do the Weather at Danzig's as like a tiny little segment because we were afraid the joke would run too long.
Yeah.
And we were right.
Folks, I can't stress how important our next guest has been to music and culture. Guys, give it up for Debbie Harry!
Oh my God.
Oh, I forgot about this.
We were supposed to get Debbie Harry, and it didn't work out.
We eventually did.
Yeah.
And here's our first thing with Dave Hill.
Love Dave Hill. Dave Hill.
I genuinely still think this is super funny.
Yeah, this is really good.
This is why, but this is also why Mutoid Man has lines in this.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that a tuna? Hey, sir.
Oh, we had to cut. You know what's fun is that this is Steve has clean vocal lines in this episode. We didn't realize we cut all of him talking without screaming.
Yeah,
we realized
sort of
his
happened by
character needed to be a screaming person.
Yeah.
You'll always be boys,
my
boys.
Nick hated this. Nick is so funny, but like he got really stressed out that we were doing scripted stuff, and I think you can kind of tell.
Yeah, he's back as to the stage.
Yeah. Like he was supposed to, when he's supposed to say, "Watch me eat this hammer," he was supposed to stand on the couch, and I was like, "Nick, we only get one take at this, so you have to do it right. I need you to stand on the couch and fall into the table." And then he didn't do that.
He did not do that.
And the Crunchberry under the fridge thing is funny, but looking back, it was like the funniness of Nick doing a Family Guy line was that he would just do it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We wrote that in, and you can tell that it's just kind of scripted, and it feels weird.
Yeah,
wish we
I
didn't put it
agree.
in.
I mean, it's the only way we could get from A to B, but also I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Folks, our second guest has a beard like a Brillo pad, a voice like a dirt bike full of rocks, and a music catalog littered with songs that have made me cry in the J Train 3 times.
This is a compliment to us. Telling people that you made us cry.
Yeah, we love crying on the train.
But I really want to quickly mention that the theme song, we experimented with Steve doing screams over it, and
It did not work.
it didn't work. But I still, whenever I listen to the theme song, I hear Debbie Harry, John Baisley.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't ruin it for you.
I'm fine with it. I forgot about that.
Pretty surreal, honestly.
Yeah.
This is the first interview I've done since we lost, so I feel like we're gonna talk about Megadeth.
Yeah, no, that's the second question is what's it like to lose a Grammy?
Ugh.
Oy.
Is bullshit?
Is it the real bullshit?
Well, we should have won, right?
Do you think
Gojira's record was pretty good too.
the French, they don't.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Well,
Speaking of
Gojira, I mean, I don't like that record.
Be best friends with Metallica.
Well, it was good to hear their song played when he was walking down the aisle. To
All right, but dude, honestly, you've been interviewed 1,000 times. We're gonna go through a list.
this is
Generic interview questions, and you're gonna tell me. Honestly,
you know, it's like this is where me learning how to do interviews. I wish came together because there's so many points where we could have just kept talking about stuff. And this is also why I stopped throwing stuff because I realized, like, oh my God, there's people. I can't just throw this.
Yeah.
yeah, because there are worse questions than that.
Okay.
That one, when somebody asks you that, you can actually talk about something legitimate you've just done.
Also, I think the cab, fun fact, on the cab wall behind everybody, that Marshall that's there's a in the center has been a part of, I think, or the one underneath it that's all torn up is the only cab that's been consistent the entire time.
Really?
It's been on every stage.
Yeah.
Which I think is really fun. I love that. I still love that.
Nick improvised that. That's very
Yeah, that's why we love it.
Yeah.
And take a nap.
Don't tell me what to do.
Good night.
I do remember that, like Nick trying to improv through the a lot of this interview made it really hard to get it through it.
Yeah.
On a desert island, would you eat yourself?
But I do love that.
I do love that they just did an SNL quote again. Like he just kind of
Is that
like,
Matt Foley? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
what
Matt
that is?
Foley. Yeah,
Of course.
Nick got he
That's
gets,
why. Oh,
he's a
I
sweet
now
boy.
get why he wanted to do Matt Foley in the SNL episode.
Right,
that was
right.
his line.
He loves Matt Foley.
Know that everyone.
I mean, Nick has a tattoo of every like funny movie from the early '80s on his arm.
I know. It's just Young Frankenstein and Bill Murray from Caddyshack.
Yeah.
This statue of Bill Murray in that hat.
Yeah. What's
Super
funny
funny.
that Nick has never ever talked to us about comedy movies. I think he got those when he was like really young.
Yeah.
Fucking damn it. What is
Bless John Baisley, who had no problem throwing that in my face.
guy guys, hang on just a second. I'm going to stop John from marching into the scene.
I still think that's
Good
funny.
bit.
So
Solid
funny bit.
This song always makes me cry.
I have cried every time. I've seen him play this twice live in the past month.
Yeah.
It has made me cry both times.
It makes me cry every time. And hearing Steve play it, when we did a rehearsal, he played it once. Oh, Hard Melissa!
Hard Melissa, this is the first Hard Melissa.
Yeah. Emily Panic. Love her.
Yeah. We wrote this character specifically for... I wanted her to do this character... we didn't have the character... I didn't have the character idea until I, met Emily.
Yeah.
And even though Emily doesn't love, metal, this is just... She had to be this person.
Oh, yeah. It was also really fun because the first time I met Emily was at her apartment. We, went over to have a meeting to, talk to her about Hard Melissa.
Yeah.
And then, I just, walk in and LP's sleeping on the couch. I'm like, oh, it's LP. And he's very sleepy.
He's asleep.
Little cute little man sleeping.
And then we, talked in a very cool roof.
Yeah. And Foxygen, who are great.
They're great. I love. They had to be the first one because we wanted it to be Foxygen #1 because we wanted a non-metal artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, fun fact: Emily used to sing backup on some Foxygen tours.
Yeah,
when they needed a lot of backups,
Yeah.
Rado's wife, Jackie Cohen, who has her own career now that is fucking awesome.
Amazing.
The albums are amazing.
Her stuff's so cool.
But yeah, those two were just the backup singers of the band for a while.
Yeah, so
and
these guys have an existing rapport, and also Rado and Sam are very funny people. So this was the perfect experiment, because again, this episode is mean, and we were trying something very, embracing the mean, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
It was. I think this was the perfect start because you have people who are friends, being mean to each other, and it probably wouldn't have worked if we had done it any other way. I think.
Yeah, I think it had to be people who knew each other the first time.
Yeah.
But I think now that Emily knows the character,
Yeah.
It can work with anybody.
Yeah.
Emily will find a way to be mean to someone the right way without having them get upset at them.
Yeah, the only difference between Hard Melissa and Emily Panic is the accent and the fake tattoos.
Yep.
That's it. And Jordan's vest. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, she's wearing Jordan's vest.
Yeah, that's my battle vest that I never wear anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't worn it since I haven't had long hair, which is the entire time anyone has ever known me.
Yeah, you're 30. You got to pick your battle vests wisely.
Yeah.
There's certain occasions you can wear it,
I like metal.
A good bar mitzvah.
I like metal.
I love this.
So I will say that your band name.
I love him popping off.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
I love that. This is my favorite moment of the entire episode. Is them laughing at you have such a sick band name.
Yeah.
Happened.
What happened?
I love what happened.
And then Hillary Clinton used that as the name of her book.
Yeah.
Then
We made a meme about that.
we had to because it was the funniest thing in the world to us and nobody else. But hopefully it's funny.
What happened? Yeah.
Back to you, Guarsenio Hall.
This is my favorite part where she just looks at the camera and is like,
Obviously, yes, I do. I don't. What? Are we still rolling? Yeah. I don't.
Handing out St. Vitus.
Ah.
Oh right, Dark Tank.
Which is funny, but can I call it funny? There are jokes. My joke.
I think there's part of this that works. Also, not to be mistaken with the actual new comedy show Dark Tank, hosted by Yodoye Travis. That's in
that's
Brooklyn.
good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I will say that all of our character actors killed it, which is great.
Yeah.
Welcome 80s fitness icon Thin Liz.
Nicole Conlon, who's not very different from Thin Liz, other than the wig.
And the cigarette.
She doesn't smoke.
I love acapella Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
Jack Parr?
He's dead.
Alright, just let me plug my shit, okay? I got like 10 kids.
I still think that's so funny.
I'm here.
I
Nick.
love Nick.
Patented
I'm still afraid he's gonna die.
workout.
Yeah.
This new series,
Physical comedy.
Riot.
What? Oh, just
She's just like stealing the stage because she's great.
Rest in peace, Randy. I had sex
This was the hardest thing to shoot because Nick couldn't remember his lines. So poor John and whoever was like just on stage with him from the audience were just standing there for so long.
So long.
It was murder.
The best part is that you can do them on drugs or pills.
Love that zoom for no reason on pills.
What do you think this shit costs?
$10.99.
It was genuinely really
Keep
funny.
in mind, those microphones are not plugged into the overhead, so no one can hear what they're saying.
Yep. Also, I just realized the Van Halen thing that's hanging up behind Steve is in my bedroom now.
Yeah.
I took that home.
No, it was someone tagged it, and I was like, who the fuck tags
yeah.
Van Halen? And I spent a very long time sanding it off for you.
Thank you.
I rescued it. I didn't steal it.
I put it above a fireplace.
Yeah.
Where a fireplace should be, so I cherish it a lot.
Luke is so fun. Luke was the basis of Tiger's Jaw, and he was doing like UCB comedy at the time. That was his idea to not wear shoes. It makes no sense.
I love that there's no shoes.
Sammy flavor hot sauce. Who wants it? Jesus Christ, no.
Luke is the best. He's so funny. He like committed the shit out of this.
Yeah, he is. I don't think. You know what? He didn't know who Sammy Hagar was.
That's the other thing. He didn't know who Sammy. He's like he grew up in like Alabama and only listened to Christian rock until he was like 16 and he discovered punk. He's got like a refused chest tattoo, any straight edge. And I had to, before we started, he was like, all right, I know that I have to sing these songs. Can you sing me the melodies so that I know how to make it sound like the real song?
All right, how much would you guys pay for
Also, that's Powerade.
$138.
4 installments of $19.99.
Well, actually, we have no idea. This shit
That's Elena from Ellen and the DeGeneres.
free if you give me a hug.
I don't think we knew each other that well.
No, we're like new friends. He's
At this
just
point.
pounding Powerade.
It's so funny. We
didn't tell him to do that. We didn't tell him to drink it. He just did it.
He just sprayed it into his mouth, and I loved it. I still
God,
love that.
he's so funny. I love this.
Yeah,
I love
this
Luke.
is so funny. He's.
Holy shit, I still fucking
This is why we shouldn't have color corrected it blues, because you can't fuck. It just doesn't look like hot sauce.
Right.
welcome our next guest, black metal environmental activist.
I still think this is so funny.
Arbor.
Yeah. And then, you're noticing that there's an alligator clip because we didn't want Nick to really hang himself. So instead of tying an actual noose, which we did the first time,
Yeah.
Cool. What's up, ghouls? I dig the vibe up here. Groovy. Max.
James Folta,
James
very
Folta,
funny dude.
who literally read his New Yorker article in the middle of a Skeleton Witch pit for
Yeah.
us.
So while we were shooting this, James and Luke had a lot of time to meet each other, and they became like best friends, and they talk all the time, and they hang out whenever they're in their respective towns, and it's honestly a really beautiful thing.
I love that. It's like how Jennifer Aniston and Ben Affleck met on Daredevil.
Jennifer Aniston is in Daredevil?
No, Jennifer Garner.
Oh,
so many
yeah.
Jens. There's this, it's like how there are like 700 Chris's now.
Yeah.
You know? There was just a lot of early 2000s.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. How much does the tree suicide cost?
Like a lot. I would not pay for that product.
It's very funny.
Oh, Jimmy! I forgot that's Jimmy up there. Jimmy is one of the best drummers I know.
Yeah.
That was a shit show.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh my god, Marty Friedman! I cried when this happened.
Arsenio, he just wanted me to go over there and teach him a bunch of Japanese curse words. And I ain't flying all the way over there just for that. See you later, idiots.
We never found out what he said, but I'm sure it was gross.
I think we did. I forgot it though.
This isn't as bad as I remember.
No, I think you're being really hard on yourself. I think, but I think we did. You know, I think I just wish we did a real interview with John.
Yeah, I
I
feel
would
bad.
just like to talk to. I think like this fucking rules.
Yeah.
The Purple Rain cover fucking rules.
I feel bad talking over this, but I also think it would be really weird if we stopped talking for 6 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
So we
paused a couple of times in the interview because I wanted to sort of remember the interview, but
Yeah.
I did as we were watching it.
Yeah.
It worked a little bit. I think it's just like...
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Oh, just the interview.
Oh, I'm talking about the I literally feel weird talking over...
I agree.
Purple Rain. So you should listen to Purple Rain after this. But this is a good time to play catch up.
Yeah.
So we did Purple Rain and it was awesome. It was fucking cool.
Yeah. I put the why we did Purple Rain is because when Prince died, Mutoid Man just played the end of Purple Rain. Just the they did that at a show one time, and I was telling them you should do the whole thing one time, and Steve was like, I don't maybe I don't know if it would work through the whole thing, and so I in GarageBand just because I didn't even have Logic yet, I just put the whole thing together, and then somehow Baisley agreed to do it and learned the song that day.
Yeah. Well,
made up his solo. His solo sounds so cool.
Yeah, because he's the best.
He's the best.
I love him. And Emily Lee added so much to it. I love the keys. Emily was like a surprise. I don't think we knew she was coming until like 2 days before, and that's why she has no lines.
Yeah.
We kicked her off stage because we were like, all right, well, we literally can't fit an extra person on stage.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the reason why we switched from a couch to chairs is so that we could fit more people on stage as the show got bigger.
Totally. Also, we just didn't want to keep dragging that couch down the stairs because it kept breaking. There's a light switch in the basement of St. Vitus that's right at the bottom of the stairs, and every time we moved the couch, it would just crash into it and almost shut off the power to the whole bar.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this whole thing is just, Max. Good bit.
I love that.
Solid bit.
I think this is one of my favorite backline setups, though. I think the trinkets all over all of those amps look super fun.
Well, the reason why we didn't really do trinkets again is because we broke half those. Those are straight up from the bar behind St.
The Peter Steele head is still okay.
Yeah, well, it's made of plastic. It's not like a real thing.
Really?
But
okay. I didn't know that.
Did you never touch it?
I never touched it.
You can go touch it right now.
I just figured it was a rock like Peter Steele's actual face.
Peter Steele's huge cock. No, this is, I mean, we would just grab stuff from behind the bar, and slowly we broke too much stuff, and finally George was like, you can do your fucking show, just don't touch my stuff.
Yeah.
And so we started bringing our own props, but then you have to remember to bring the props, and we don't know what we're doing, so we would forget them all the time, and so that just sort of, my favorite setup, though, for sure, is the Elvis cover, where we set the stuff so high that it was dangerous, so we genuinely thought it was going to fall over, but we also went crazy with the fog machine, so you can't see it, and it's a complete waste of time.
Oh, yeah, you guys covered it up. I thought it looked really cool, but
it did look cool.
I would love to have more fog.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just takes too much time.
No, the opposite. I would have liked to have no fog, because the fog covers it up, and it looks...
Yeah.
I think a little fog is okay, you know?
Oh, yeah, I don't mean that much fog. Y'all were animals then.
Well, yeah, we don't know what we're doing. That was Jono. Jono was like, more fog, and I was like, I trust you. You were my boss once. Which is very true.
At Apple.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
I love this solo so much.
Oh, it's the best solo. The tone's so fucking good. And Nick and his little fucking... He looks like Barney Rubble, and he's just got these like little sausage fingers right here. This shot is so funny.
Every time... putting at the... Of course, Nick has to make... There's a beautiful harmony going on, and you just look... Oh, that's where a penis is.
Look, we're hiding behind the desk. We would
can see it's true.
Yeah, we would start hiding, and then we would start the solo. The solo would start, and Jordan and I would climb through the audience behind Emily Lee and like kind of brush up against her legs.
It felt super weird, and we had met her. Yeah.
Emily's the best. She's so funny.
She's so cool.
Really cool, and such a good musician.
The best. She is the best musician that's on that stage.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
amazing vocalist. She's in Drone Flower now, which is Steve and Marissa Nadler's band, and she adds she does background vocals, and Steve sings falsetto, and it adds so much.
It's so cool.
Yeah. And fucking Ben's going crazy.
I know. I love
it.
Ben standing up. Whenever Ben stands up playing drums, we're having.
There's Peter doing snap zooms for no reason.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah.
Also, the little trill that John does in the harmony, the me, that's not.
That's one of my favorite Brodsky faces.
The purple.
Yeah. When right before he yells purple, he shakes his shoulders like he's Frankenstein, and then vomits the word purple out. I have a folder of screen caps. Oh
my God, Ice-T!
I wish there was a cooler story.
There is. It's just.
Let's leave it a mystery. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. We had to cut before he called us the N-word, though.
We did have.
There's 3 minutes of this, and this is the only 12 seconds we can use.
Yeah.
He keeps dropping N-bombs.
Yeah, he went. This is a 4-minute video of him yelling at us, and he N-bombs too many times, so we could put it in.
Yeah. This is a fun ending.
Yeah.
Improvised.
Great.
We did not write that for him. And
I liked everybody beating you up.
Yeah, that was
fun.
we didn't know what to do, and we were like, what do we do? And I just shouted all right, everybody come up and beat me up. And then Dylan, one of our camera guys, leaves his post to beat us up. And Peter, so basically our friend Peter shot almost all of our stuff for a long time. And Peter is a very, very good DP. But also a human robot person.
Is that Sam Brodsky on stage too? No, that's Justin.
That's Justin.
That's Justin, who looks just exactly like Harley Mortenstein.
Yeah. Beef lawyer.
Beef lawyer.
But what the fuck was I saying?
Right. Oh my God. Right. We had a desk.
Sleeping.
Yeah, I love that he's sleeping there.
Yeah.
I also love that we got to give a shout out to Tristan for building the desk.
Yeah.
The new desk, because we threw out the old one because we hacked it up with saws.
He handmade that desk out of stuff he stole from his workshop.
Yeah, we were
free.
I needed to be collapsible so we can put it in the basement. I needed to be sturdy so I can jump on top of it.
Yep.
I wanted it to look spooky.
Yeah.
So we it just looks like a old. It just looks like something that you gets pulled out of a church.
But we don't realize that it folds up and it's basically turns into a suitcase and you can carry it, and it's broken now, but it lasted us a full season.
It's not super broken. It's one hatch and one handle fell off. But,
Right.
After 8 episodes of film, it's pretty good.
Yeah. But that was a lot better than I remembered. I would think I was too hard on it.
I think you talked to Jeremy about it, and Jeremy was very negative about that episode.
Because we didn't let him be a part of it.
Well, no, we didn't even know him then. But
we did. He brings it up all the time, though, where he messaged me. He's like, if you guys ever need help with anything. And I didn't know him at the time, and I was just like, okay. And I never talked to him ever again until
you talked to him?
Until Poser Cops.
Right.
Yeah.
He always...
And now I'm going to his wedding, so I win.
I think it's... I think he just... I think when he mentioned the stuff for him that didn't work about the second episode when we were starting to write the next season, I think you took it really hard.
I did take it really hard, and not because Jeremy was wrong or because I was offended. It was just because I wanted to do things better, because I felt like we had a big responsibility. Because we made 2 huge changes when we decided to do the season. The first thing was that we were going to do it live. The goal was going to be...
Yeah.
We shoot those episodes now in... It's not real time, but I mean, we'll shoot the intro. We do
2.
We do basically 2 takes of the intro. We do the interview as is, and then that gets cut down. We do 2 takes of the musical performance, and then we do 1 take of the outro. 2 if it's something kind of crazy. But the idea was that, we wanted to make it as close to a real actual show. You know, when like if you watch Conan, that's shot live with minimal editing. They might, you know, take out a bit that doesn't work and you don't know about it, or someone curses or something or say something too raunchy for the network.
Mm-hmm.
But the advantage that they have is that they have a studio, and so when they leave at night, all that stuff is in the same spot and it's marked off. We work with different camera people every time. Sometimes we have so much shit that we have to deal with because we don't know what we're doing. We do. I got to stop saying that we don't know what we're doing, but we didn't. Do. We didn't know. I think that's important. Is that it was still a learning process up until halfway through the Walter Schreifels episode because we didn't know it was going to work, and we had a lot of problems that episode. You know, the power went out. The power went out while we were shooting.
Yep.
You started melting.
My face melted off 7 times.
We had a camera. A camera just stopped working, and so that episode, during that musical performance, we don't have as many angles as we wanted. It was the first time working.
Well, let's not talk about that episode. We'll talk about that episode another time.
We will. But spoiler alert: power went out. But the thing was that it was a lot of pressure because we had to kind of make it worth people's money. I really, really was scared of Patreon because my whole process of how this world works was going to be that some magnificent rich man would be like, here is money, make us a thing, and then we'll do ads for Viagra. But the reality that we ended up doing was that we're going to make it and the fans are going to pay for it. So I was just like, it has to be perfect. It has to be what the fans are going to like. Because if someone...
But we didn't have a Patreon yet.
No, but I'm saying that's why I took the episode 2 stuff so
hard. Yeah,
that's why I took Jeremy's comment so hard, because I was like, I can't let these people down. I can't have another Arboroth. Who's great.
You don't like Arboroth?
I love Arboroth. I just said it because it was the first specific that came in my head. Okay, better. I can't have another, hey, there's a Crunchberry under the fridge.
I think what happened is we were getting down to the wire. You were having a lot of problems at work. And a lot of this episode, when I was I would we wrote the intro together, and then when it came time to do the game, I remember it was like a week before, but I needed people to learn their lines, and you got caught up with so much stuff at work, and I was like, we had the idea to do like a Dark Tank. I wrote all of Dark Tank rushed and by myself.
Yeah. The thing with this stuff was a separate sketch that you cut down.
Yeah.
It was literally going to be like a live thing. I don't remember. We were going to do some sort of... I think we were going to try to do a sketch festival. We were going to try to do it as a live comedy show.
Yeah.
And so that was written for the stage.
Yes.
And so it's 10 minutes long, and part of the joke is that you're doing aerobics with Thin Liz.
Yeah.
And, the joke is watching you try to put your foot behind your head.
Yeah.
It was like a Conan segment. But then you just basically chopped out all the jokes and made it into a cohesive thing.
Yeah, well, we made it...
Took the jokes for the Dark Tank, I mean. You salvaged the jokes.
I salvaged the jokes and tried to put it into that, but it was such a long bit. I just didn't think I think we needed to try to prove that we could do another game.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, we can. I feel like, to me, it felt like doing the games is that just a lot of people could do those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't as interested in... I think we both were just not as interested in having a game segment, but we felt like we needed one because it was in the first episode. But that's also why we don't do games in the other episodes, because we want it to be... We want everything on the show to feel like something you can kind of only see if you're watching the show.
Right.
The songs are covers between artists that you didn't know were going to collaborate together. It's Mutoid Man and some other folks creating something, and it's really cool. And that's something you can only see on our show. The interviews are the only thing you can see on our show.
Yeah.
And the characters. But the games you can get elsewhere. I always felt that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think so. I think the problem was that with the game, I was always worried that it would get a little too cute and get into Jimmy Fallon territory.
Yeah.
And so we were always kind of struggling to just make it as funny as possible. Or as they're never gonna do on Jimmy Fallon, they're never gonna do the they're not gonna say cunt 7 times. So
right.
We went a little crazy writing those. But I think the games are really funny, and I wish that Dark Tank was less of a sketch and more of an interactiveness.
Yeah, I agree.
Because even if you look at like the pre-written part of the first episode where no one can win, that's because Nick is just going bananas.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's great, and it's they're they can say more than just one word,
right?
You know,
yeah.
It's not like it was a weird combination of Price is Right and Shark Tank, and that doesn't make any fucking sense. But,
no, yeah. Wish you called it out.
I did call it out.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, again, I think the only thing I don't think anything like really failed in it.
No. I think maybe
I just wish we just did. I think the interview. I just wish we didn't do an anti-interview.
I think the reason why
Dark Tank should have just been its own thing.
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been part of the episode. Dark Tank drags.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that really kind of broke my spirit on episode 2, and if you want to cut this, you can. But basically, we put it in a film festival. We got invited to put it in a show called Series Fest in Denver, and it was awesome. It's this great television festival, and it's this guy saw it and loved it. So this guy Caleb Ward, he's a programmer for festivals, and he does a lot of film work. He's a really cool guy. He saw the pilot. He really liked it. He wanted us to enter it into Series Fest, which he was, doing the program block for a certain part of it, specifically the late night segment. So like we were mixed in there with like some animation, some sketch comedy, a whole bunch of stuff. There was a really great short pilot that Dave Hill is in too. So it was really cool because Dave Hill appeared in two things. So we enter this thing into this film festival, and we go out to Denver, and Caleb's like, you got to go in the face paint. And we're like, yeah, you're right. So Jordan's in face paint. I'm Kevin, the sound guy. And we go, and we're really excited. And then it screens, and it doesn't screen well because it's kind of an inside joke.
It is.
Nobody there had seen the first episode. There's too many references to the first episode. It is already like a little bit niche because of what it is, and that's we didn't do enough to bring in a new audience, and that really broke my spirit, realizing that like, oh, my thing that I love is not beloved by everybody, and maybe we could have done something different. Maybe we shouldn't have done something different. I think we definitely learned that lesson in season 2. I think it's way more, or season 1. I think it's really accessible.
I think that it was also that decision why that's why the road to season 1 is its own thing,
right?
And not part of the actual episode 1.
Yeah. So that someone could just watch it if they've never seen anything that we did.
I think that I agree with that, and I think it was one of those things where Caleb hadn't seen this episode before we put it into the festival. We just thought this episode was going to be so much better than the first one. Yeah. Because we just put so much work in it. It had the cool Purple Rain cover. But I think, honestly, if we just brought the first episode to that show, it would have probably worked a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
But also, it's playing to an audience of just like old ladies.
Yeah, that's
everyone there was just like a weird old lady who didn't know anything about this stuff.
But I mean, basically, it kind of was. We didn't realize at the time, but it was a second chance to start over, and instead we continued. We made a sequel to the pilot when we really should have made a true second pilot. Yeah, because we shot it better, we wrote it better. It was all around. We improved on every aspect. But the problem was you couldn't walk into an office and be like, check out my product. Here's the second episode, Yeah. It confused people.
I think from now on, I think that's just kind of what we're doing is we're trying to be... In the season, we're not evergreen in the Patreon season. I think, you can start at the Walter episode, but, I think going from there, I think we just owed it to our fans to just get the narrative out of our system. Yeah. But I think in the future, if we do any more stuff, like it's gonna be evergreen when you see 2 Minutes to Late Night. I think that's what we kind of learned because we want anybody to kind of be able to jump in whenever.
Yeah, there's a thing in writing called the season 2 idea, and basically you want to make something once you have an established audience, so a joke that references the actual existence of the show, you usually want to save it for season 2. And our entire season 1 is a season 2 idea. The only show that's ever that worked is the episode of Rick and Morty where they go to the.
Let's not talk about.
I'm not gonna talk about Rick and Morty, but yeah. Wubba lubba dub dub.
But yeah, I think it's full of season 2 ideas. I feel like we kind of had to do something like that, but for the most part, I don't know. I don't agree. I think the season works. Like the talk show is a talk show about music, but it's also just a talk show about talk shows.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
we have a lot of that kind of stuff, and about being that's why we take caricatures of things and build them into actual characters, like 2005 Scene Kid and The Punisher. I think some of the stuff on the show requires some knowledge of niche stuff, and sometimes that niche stuff is our show. Yeah, but I think we owed it to ourselves to do that on the first season, just to have fun building characters. Yeah, and I think that's fine. I think for the most part, it's very watchable. Yeah, from at any point.
Yeah, I think having removed the weight of watching this episode, I'm like, it's a lot better than I remember it being. Yes, and I also think that it's something that you could really enjoy. If I was gonna say, you should. I think the proper viewing order is pilot, Walter Schreifels, all the way up to episode 7. Then you should watch this to see flashback, almost like an alternate timeline, like Lost, and then watch the finale. Okay, and then watch Barry on HBO because it's really good.
Barry's a very good show, and you have time before season 3 starts. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, is that your final thought on the episode?
I think I was super duper depressing on this commentary, and also incredibly vulnerable. Which is kind of cool because I listened to every commentary when I was a kid. I
have never listened to commentary.
I was such a nerd. I listened to every fucking Futurama commentary, and I listened to every Family Guy commentary, and and they never once got so bogged down with how things didn't work. But I remember one thing specifically. I remember that every show talked about how the second episode is the hardest. Specifically, I Roommate, that episode of Futurama, and I don't remember the second episode of Family Guy.
Oh my god.
But they always talk about how the second episode is the hardest, and I didn't think about it until right now.
It's sophomore slump.
It's sophomore slump. It's hard. But again, the last episode, a commentary I said, if you're thinking about doing something, do it. The moral that I learned from this episode is that if you're thinking about doing something and you do it, keep doing it. And if you don't feel that you did a great job, do it a third time. Keep making shit. Just please keep making shit. Keep doing stuff. Keep drawing. Keep doing whatever.
I think there was a lot of pressure for us to make this episode with the best of our ability. I think it was also we scripted it tighter. Yeah. We thought that scripting the jokes would be would be more fun. And it kind of wasn't. And I think it was also a thing where we just because of the way that our lives were going at the time, it was hard to just be in sync on everything. So there was a lot of stuff where we were doing stuff by ourselves. Yeah. And I think that it kind of hurt the product to not be as in sync as before. But I think for the most part, I liked watching this episode. I have a lot of fun memory. I think Max on the toilet is really funny. Yeah. It's an episode that relies so much on the first episode, but it also, you can only watch this episode after you've at least seen the pilot. Yeah. But it also feels like an episode that's just so deep in a canon of something. Yeah. It doesn't feel like this episode doesn't feel like season 2. It feels like a season 4. Yeah. When we got new writers. Yeah. And they're not as good as the first one. No. No, but I think this one's still... I'm fond of this episode. I think it is my least favorite episode that we've done. And that has nothing to do with anybody who helped us make it. I think it's just... it is because it's the hardest episode to do. The second episode of something is the hardest. The second album is the hardest. Yeah. Sometimes people don't feel that way. But
yeah. The other thing about like real TV is that generally speaking, when you make a second episode, you've already made your third, and you've learned from your mistakes. Hopefully, a lot quicker. We had like a year to just ruminate on this episode and just think about how the hell we're gonna do the third one. You know, because we had no idea we were gonna do a season. You know? And whereas like
at this point,
and if you watch, the season of the Patreon funded season, I think as the episodes progress, they get better because we're learning as we go. Because we did a lot of stuff very quickly.
The finale is my favorite episode of the show we've ever done.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think we had the finale on our side because no one's gonna watch the finale first. You'd be crazy to do that.
Yeah.
So we kind of were like,
we got to do whatever
we can do whatever we want because at this point you've at least watched one episode. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be funny though if someone was watching it and they were like, "Who the fuck is Mutoid Man? Where did those guys come from? Boy, they're ugly."
All right, well let's do. Let's get out of here. Good commentary. Good. This was a trip down memory lane, and it was. This was the one I was the most nervous to watch. I think, for sure. But I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we.
Oh yeah, we're gonna hug after this. This is an experience.
Yeah. We're not gonna do it on air because why?
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
It's not
this is
for
an
you.
audio medium.
It's for us.
All right. You want to plug some shit, Drew?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at diet_Hellboy. You can follow me on Instagram. I got a photography account at Drew Kaufman Photography. Tweet at us. We have a Twitter at 2M2LN. Let us know if you want us to do commentaries for other episodes. We'll do it. If you don't want us to, tell us to go to hell. Tell us what you want. What you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want. What I really want
is to watch Spice World for the podcast. I think we should do that.
I was gonna say pastrami, but yeah, that works too.
Yeah. Pastrami's solid meat. I feel like if I ate pastrami, since I haven't in a very long time, it would kill me. I'm 30 years old. My stomach can barely do anything.
What it would do is it would actually awaken your hidden Jew powers. Just like when mutants hit puberty and suddenly they get their powers.
Oh, great.
Yeah, your power would be you would complain at a bank about your own money.
Help! I'm getting sucked into the bank. I
can say this joke. I'm wearing a Jewish star.
True. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Jordan Olds. Follow me on Instagram at Dr. Mayer. Follow the show on Instagram at 2 Minutes to Late Night. Donate to our Patreon. Did you already do this? Did you do Patreon?
Oh, I thought you meant did I donate to the Patreon?
Did you? I've never donated to any Patreon.
I give to a few. I feel like I have to at this point. Support other Patreons.
I just don't have it.
But no, I didn't plug the Patreon yet. Now we have honorableswords.com.
Honorableswords.com. Do it. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing stuff. We're not done. We're not done with nothing.
We're not dumb.
We're not dumb. We're a little dumb.
We're so dumb.
We're so dumb.
Yeah.
All right. Chug semi-flavor hot sauce.
Cabo Wabo is a real place and I live there.
It's my favorite line of the episode.
Hell yeah.